Hello YouTube, welcome back. No, it's been a while, almost a month and a half now, but I wanted to make an update on something. This is the e-bike I got. Now, pretty much, I'm gonna tell you how I got this e-bike. Pretty much, about 2 months ago, I pedaled to school. I biked with a regular old mountain bike, and it's pretty trash. And there's this big hill I have to climb, pretty much to get to my house. That's pretty hard. So I started looking at an e-bike. I looked at some, found one I liked, changed my mind, found my eyes on this one. Now it's very specific for the bike I wanted. I wanted a two-seater, which just could fit two people. A bike that doesn't go under 20 miles an hour. One that has throttle and is a moped style, which was all in this one, which I really like. This thing is pretty fast. This thing's max speed is 30 miles an hour, 32. I've pushed it to 32, and oh boy, this thing kicks. This thing is an absolute joyride, and I tell you, this thing is completely different from a regular bike. When you go on this to a regular bike, it's like a night and day difference. Once you go back, you never go back. And I've been pretty much using it to commute to school ever since I got it. I got it about a month ago, and I almost have 100 miles on it already. Yeah, 97 miles, which is pretty good, especially being that it's a commuter. Now, there are some downsides with this bike. Number one, the range. It's not really too good. You really can only go around 20-something miles going like max speed. I have to charge it usually on average every 2 days, which is pretty annoying. But then again, I am going full throttle with this thing. Unlike other people who average like 18 miles an hour, I average like 30. Second, this bike is technically illegal. Now in New Jersey, which is where I live, the laws for e-bike is if you go 20 miles and above, it's illegal. This thing could go 30 easily, and it goes over the class for e-bikes, which you have to be 17, have a license, and it's still 28 miles an hour. So yeah, this thing could break it. And so if you want to stay low like that, that's pretty much it. Another downside is the price. Now this is pretty pricey. I spent about 1K on this. Now you can find this on Amazon for $650, but there's $300 in shipping, which makes this bike a pretty pricey bargain. But other than that, that's really all it. Oh, and the suspension. It technically has full suspension, being that there's a rear shock right here, but it really only has 1 inch of travel. Same here with the forks. It's really only 2 inches, which is a shame. Now, what did I buy for this bike? Well, I've already put some blinkers on this thing, which is pretty nice. So this thing's great. I've brought friends on it. I bring a friend every single day from school to his house, and he's a pretty big kid. So, and both of us fit fine here. The only problem is like right here, when I sit right here, this goes up my ass. So it's a real pain. But other than that, this bike is magnificent. Oh, another mod I did. Water bottle holder. I use it to hold a bike chain so that way I can mount my bike actually. Now, if you want to be autistic, you have pedal assist and you could do that, but I do full throttle usually. There's disc brakes, which are really nice. I really like the red on this. The red is really nice. I've heard problems about like the disc brakes and little disc pads are really rare to find. You can really only find them on eBay, and they're apparently 2 mounts. I haven't done that yet. So far the brakes are fine. The only problem I have is you can't really full brake with the bike without it having skidding. So I usually tap it and it usually makes a squeaking sound, which is a pretty annoying, but I've gotten used to it. Heads up, when you get this bike, there's going to be 2 keys. There's going to be this one, the circle one, which is for the ignition, and the square one right here. This one. This is to release the battery, obviously. So you turn that on. You go here. You press this button. Now this is the newer model, so you just press M. On the older model, it's the power button. And pretty much you just change your mode from 1 to 5. Now you have to go into settings and change some stuff, but there's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube where you can find that. But yeah, this bike is an absolute steal for the bargain. 1K, 1,000, I think it's either 1,000 or 1,500, 32 miles an hour. you could push this thing. I've seen people who push this bike to 37, but they're going downhill. And yeah, that's pretty crazy. Nice big rear fender, fat tires. This thing has really good grip, in my opinion. Oh, and it comes with this phone holder, which is really nice, and this really nice multi-tool. I've used this thing a decent amount, and I always keep it in here because I find it to be useful. Because one time I found myself with my handle, with my bar loose, I turned the bar and the wheel wouldn't turn, it would just stay still. So I had to stay there and fix it. I got home and I fixed it real quick. It was really easy, real nice, and yeah. But I am gonna upgrade the front and rear shocks, obviously. Paint this black. And that's really all the mods I want to do with this thing. Other than that, change out grips, maybe add some pegs, and maybe add a fake custom license plate, you know? Might put bye-bye on it. That'd be pretty cool. But now, we gotta test this thing out. I've talked great about it. So now, let's ride it. Yeah, and there's an extra phone mount here. And there's actually a charger mount where you could charge it, but I don't put it there usually. In case if I ever get in a crash, I don't want my phone to break. People have complained that this isn't big enough for their phone. I have the 14 Pro Max, and it fits perfectly fine in my opinion. As you see, which I've done it before. And as you can tell, I don't really use this much because of how rusted it is. And I've only really had this thing for a month now, so it's mounted on. Just gotta spread it out. It takes a while, as you can tell. Untightened it. Now let's go. As you see, it's pretty bumpy already. It's a pretty bumpy bike, but as you see here, pretty steep hill. Thing handles like it's nothing. This thing's magnificent with hill climbs. Pretty good with traffic. People see you, they know you're there. Obviously, this is a pretty bulky bike. You want people to see you. But yeah, we're just gonna take it around here real quick. Oh yeah. Let me tell you guys my plans for in the next, mark your calendars for this. In the next 10 days, I'll be making a video of my last day at school. Now I'm obviously going to be recording it now. I don't have it fully planned out, but I already know that I'm going to be recording, of course, the inside of school a bit and the ride there and back, obviously. Show some of my friends on video, and yeah. But this bike is it's a steal for its bargain. It's obviously, now 1K is a lot, and it's a pretty pricey bike, but it's a pretty penny, obviously. But this thing is absolutely worth it, and this thing could pretty much go anywhere. Now, there's other people like Ridstar, who's modded this thing insanely. But I don't remember the battery exactly, but it's a pretty beefy battery, and it has a lot of power. And he was able to make it go from 30 to like 49, like 39, I'm pretty sure, which is crazy. Like, that's nice. My problem is how bulky it is, and the cable. Now, I'm a personal subscriber of him, and his goal is pretty much to make it kind of like an electric dirt bike. Now, I don't want to turn mine into a dirt bike, obviously. I'm fine with the way it is. It's a pretty nice bike. I like the headlight. I like pretty much everything about this bike. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing I'll change with it other than suspension. But really, from there, that's really the only thing I would change. Suspension, and maybe one day the battery. But even then, that's rare. But yeah, this thing is a great bike overall. It can haul. It does what you need to do. Look at this. Look at this big ass trench here. Me and my friend built a bridge the other day here. It's pretty big. So yeah. Now this thing is a really nice bike. Another thing I didn't mention, the light button here. The horn. That's pretty loud. It's pretty aggressive too, so I suggest only use it when it's necessary, like getting your friend's attention or getting people on the sidewalk's attention. But yeah, this thing's an absolute unit of a bike. As you see, already almost 100 miles. And I installed blinkers, like I said. The blinkers are kind of fucked up though, because it says when you go one way, it does 3 instead of 2, and 1 going the other way. So that's pretty annoying right off the bat. What else? What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah. That's pretty much it with the bike. Honestly, these tires are pretty good. Brakes are good. I've driven this thing through rain, and the grip is honestly it's not bad. It's surprisingly better. It's better than my old mountain bike. My mountain bike was from 2003, my original mountain bike. And I used to bike that and commute it, and it was so rusty and such a pain to commute with. I hated it. But yeah, this thing is one of the best purchases I made in my life. It obviously is a bit dirty. Gets dirty. If anyone knows how to wash this bike, please tell me. I would love to, because so far I've seen like 0 tutorials on how to wash this. I mean, the other day I did do a burnout with it. I did a huge ass burnout in the dirt. But heads up, if you want to do a burnout, even if you grip the front brake, you can't apply throttle. You just can't. It doesn't work. I've tried it a million times. It doesn't work. So I just personally lift it up, slam on the throttle, and it does a burnout. Real nice, real clean, real simple. Now, where's a place where I could put this? But yeah, this thing is a unit. Beefy ass headlight. This thing's humongous. Look at that. Look how bright that is. That's my shirt with the light on it. It's super bright. But this thing is an absolute steal for your bargain. I would suggest to buy it. It's worth the money. It's a really nice bike. Oh yeah, and the built-in brake lights. When you brake, it flashes, as you can see right here. So yeah, pretty nice bike. Anyways, thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. And also, remember my video in the next 10 days. Last day of school. It's going to be one of my biggest videos I think I'm ever going to do to date. You're going to see it's pretty much going to be almost a day in the life, except the waking up part and getting dressed, because I don't want to record that at home. So yeah, that's going to be a pretty fire video. Anyways, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.